My name is Margaret Holloway. I am 52 years old, and I want to tell you about a shoebox. It was an ordinary shoebox, the cardboard kind, white with a logo on the side, the box from a pair of sneakers my son bought in his junior year of high school. I found it in August, 3 days after I dropped him at his university 400 miles away, and drove home alone and walked into a house that had a new and unfamiliar quality of silence. I was changing the sheets on his bed. The box was under it, pushed toward the wall, not hidden with any particular intent, just stored, the way things get stored under beds, because there was space there and the box needed to be somewhere. I pulled it out. I opened it. There were 52 letters inside. Let me tell you about Owen first. Owen is 18. He was 17 for most of the year the letters cover. And he is, in the accounting that matters most to me, the best decision I ever made. I made him with his father, who left when Owen was 4, and I raised him in the particular configuration of the single-parent household. The two-person team, the modified everything, the constant recalibrating of what is possible within the available resources of time and money and attention. He is tall. Owen, taller than his father was the last time I saw his father, which was a fact I had noticed and filed away without fully examining. He has my mother's eyebrows, dark and slightly dramatic, the eyebrows of a person who is always on the verge of an expression. And he has a quality of stillness when he is thinking that I have seen in him since he was 2 years old, sitting on the kitchen floor with blocks, assembling and disassembling with a focused quiet that seemed to contain more interior life than a 2-year-old should have. He is not a talker. This is the central fact of living with Owen, the one that organized our years together, and that I had, by the time he left for college, made my peace with. He processes internally. He communicates selectively. He is warm, deeply warm. The warmth is never in question, but the warmth comes out in acts rather than words, in presence rather than declaration, in the accumulated evidence of daily life rather than in the direct statement of it. He shows up. He has always shown up. He fixes things around the house, not because I ask, but because he sees what needs fixing and fixes it. He notices when I'm tired and quietly takes something off my plate. The dishes done, the laundry moved, the errand completed before I remembered it needed completing. He sits with me in the evenings with the comfortable ease of someone who does not need conversation to fill space. And I have learned over 18 years to read his silences the way you learn to read a landscape you have lived in long enough. But he does not write letters. Or so I believed. The year before he left for college was the year of applications and decisions and the specific forward lean of a child in his final year at home. Present, but already partly oriented toward the horizon, the way birds get before migration. Something shifted in the angle of everything. I knew he was going. I had known for years, the way you know things that are not yet true, but are coming, that are true in the future tense that parents learn to live in. I had been preparing myself with the imperfect tools available, telling myself it was good, because it is good, telling myself I would adjust, because I would, telling myself the house would find a new equilibrium, because it would. None of this preparation, as it turned out, addressed the actual experience of it. The actual experience was its own thing entirely, available only in the arriving of it. He left on a Saturday in August. I drove him. 4 hours, his things in the back, the particular conversation of a long drive that moves through several registers, practical, philosophical, funny, quiet. We ate lunch at a diner at the halfway point, the kind of diner that exists on highways and nowhere else. And he ate an enormous amount of food with the appetite of someone 18 who has been packing boxes all morning. And I watched him eat and thought, I am going to miss this specific thing. The watching him eat. the ordinary enormous appetite of him. We unloaded his things. I met his roommate, a boy from Ohio named Derek, who seemed friendly and slightly overwhelmed. I made the bed. He let me make the bed, which he would not have let me do at 16, and the letting me was a kindness I understood. I hung the one thing he had asked me to hang, a poster he had chosen carefully. Then it was time. He hugged me in the parking lot. He is taller than me by several inches, Owen, so when he hugs me, I fit under his chin in the way that I will never entirely get used to, the way that contains the whole 18 years in it. The small boy who used to stand on his toes to reach my shoulder, and now this. I'll call, he said. I know, I said. Mom, he said. Go, I said. Go. You're okay. He went. I drove home. I walked into the house. The silence of the house was not what I had expected. I had expected quiet. I had not expected the specific quality of this quiet. Not absence exactly, but presence of absence. The shape of him everywhere, the chair he preferred, the mug he used, the particular arrangement of things in the kitchen that I had not noticed was his until it was unoccupied. The house had, without my being aware of it, taken on the shape of two people. Now one of them was gone, and the shape remained like an imprint. I moved through it for 3 days in the particular slow motion of early adjustment. On the third day, I changed his sheets. I stripped the bed. I lifted the mattress to tuck in the corners. I saw the box. I sat on the floor of his room with the box on my lap. 52 letters. I counted them before I opened any. An absurd thing to do, but I needed a moment, and counting gave me a moment. The envelopes were not sealed. They were tucked. Each one folded and tucked into a plain white envelope, not licked shut, just closed. None of them had an address on the outside. None of them had a stamp. Each one had, in Owen's handwriting, a single word on the front. Mum. I opened the first one. The letters were dated. The earliest was from September of the previous year, the September of his senior year, 11 months before he left. The most recent was from the week before he left for college. Between them, 50 weeks of letters, one per week, written and folded and placed in the box, and never sent. I want to tell you what was in them. Owen had written to me the way he could not speak to me, freely, fully, without the editing that his natural reticence requires in conversation. The letters were long, most of them, a page, sometimes 2, in his handwriting, which is angular and slightly compressed, the handwriting of someone who thinks faster than he writes and pushes the letters together trying to keep up. The first letter, Mum. Senior year started today. You made the special breakfast, and you were trying not to make it a big deal, but I could tell you thought it was a big deal. It is a big deal. I didn't know how to say that this morning, so I'm saying it here. It's a big deal, and I know you know that, and I'm glad you made the breakfast. I've been thinking lately about how much you did. Not in an abstract way, in a specific way. Like the Tuesday nights when you had the late shift, and you still came home and made dinner, because you said Tuesday nights were dinner nights, and you didn't cancel it once. Not in 14 years. I've been thinking about that Tuesday thing. I don't think I ever told you that I noticed. I put the letter down, I picked it up again. I noticed. He had been 14 years of Tuesday dinners, and he had noticed everyone. I kept reading. The letters moved through his senior year with the particular texture of that year. The applications, the decisions, the friendships, the things he was thinking about that I had not known he was thinking about because he had not said them to me, but had apparently been saying them here. There was a letter about his father, about a conversation Owen had with himself, in the letter, about what he thought of his father now that he was almost grown, a reckoning that was careful and honest, and that I had never known he was conducting. I used to be angry at you, he wrote, for not being angry enough. Like, you just kept going. You never said bad things about him. You never fell apart. You just kept doing the Tuesday dinners and the school things and the everything. And for a while when I was younger, I wanted you to be angrier. I thought it would make me feel less alone in it. But I'm older now, and I think I understand it differently. I think you not being angry was a choice you made for me, so I didn't have to carry your anger on top of everything else. I think it cost you something to make that choice. I don't know what exactly, but I think it cost you, and I think you made it anyway. I wanted to say thank you for that. I didn't know how to say it out loud, so I'm saying it here. I sat on his bedroom floor for a long time with this letter. He had been 14 years old, 15, 16, 17, working this out over years in private, with the internal processing of a boy who does not show his working. And he had arrived at this understanding, and he had thanked me for it, in a letter, in a shoebox, under his bed. There was a letter from December, a hard month, a month I remembered, a month in which I had been carrying something I had tried not to show. I know December is hard for you, he wrote. I know it's the anniversary of when Grandpa died, and I know you think I don't remember that, but I do. I remember every year. I watch you in December, and I try to do extra things, the dishes, the firewood, the other stuff, because I don't know how to say I know you're sad, and I love you. So I do the dishes, December. Every year, I had thought he did the dishes because he was a responsible teenager who helped around the house. He did the dishes because he knew I was sad, and it was how he said I love you in the language available to him. I don't know how to say I know you're sad, and I love you. So I do the dishes. There was a letter from March, after he got his acceptance. I got in. I know you know I got in, because you were in the room when I opened the email, and you cried, and then pretended you hadn't cried. You had cried. Your eyes were different. I've been thinking about what it means that I'm going. Not just for me, for you. I think about you in the house alone, and I don't know how to hold that thought. I put it down and pick it up, and put it down again. I want to tell you something. The thing I've been trying to say all year in these letters, and haven't said directly yet. You gave me everything. Not in the way people say that. Not as a figure of speech. Actually everything. Every Tuesday dinner, and every school thing, and every time you sat on the floor outside my room when I was upset and didn't come in, but I knew you were there. Every time you didn't fall apart, even when I knew it was costing you. Every single thing, I'm going to go 400 miles away and live my life and become whatever I'm going to become. And the foundation of all of it, every single bit of it, is you, is what you built, is the house you kept. I don't know how to say this to your face. I've tried, and the words don't come out right in the air. They come out smaller than they are. Here they are the right size. Thank you, Mom. Thank you for all of it, for the whole thing. I love you, Owen. I sat on the floor of his room for a long time after I read that one. The August light in the window, the stripped bed, the box on my lap. I thought about 18 years, about the Tuesday dinners, which I had made because they mattered, and because some things you do not cancel. About the December dishes, which I had received as help, and which were love in the only language he had for it. About all the times I had sat on the floor outside his door. I did that. It was a thing I did, a thing I had not thought of as remarkable, but which he had registered and kept. About the letters in the box. 52 letters, one a year for every week of his final year at home. He had been saying goodbye to me for a year. Not goodbye, I'm leaving. Goodbye, let me tell you first. Let me say the things that have the right size on paper before I go 400 miles away, before the house gets quiet, before you change my sheets and find this box. He had left me the box to find. I thought about this. He had not hidden it. Under the bed, pushed toward the wall, but in a shoebox, findable, findable when the sheets were changed, which he knew I would change. He had left me the box to find. I called him. He answered on the third ring. Background noise of the dormitory, voices, someone's music, the texture of a place full of 18-year-olds beginning their lives. Mom, he said. Everything okay? I changed your sheets, I said. A pause. Yeah, he said. I found the box, I said. A longer pause. Yeah, he said again. Different this time. Smaller, more interior. Owen, I said. I couldn't. He started. Stopped. Tried again. I couldn't say it out loud. It always came out wrong. Too small. I know, I said. Did you read them? He said. All of them, I said. All 52? He said. I read them in order, I said. I sat on your floor and I read all of them. Silence on the line. The March one, I said. The one after you got in. He said nothing. Owen, I said. The right size. They were exactly the right size. I heard him breathe. Okay, he said, quietly, in the voice he has when something has landed in the right place. The Tuesday dinners, I said. I noticed everyone, he said. The December dishes, I said. I didn't think you knew, he said. I didn't know, I said. I know now. Mom, he said. I'm going to keep the box, I said. Okay, he said. Next to your grandfather's photograph, I said. On the shelf. A pause. That's a good place, he said. We talked for a while after that. Not about the letters, not about the big things. About Derek, the roommate, and the dining hall, and a class he was looking forward to. The ordinary new life things, the texture of where he was now. Before he hung up, he said, Mom? Yeah, I said. I'm going to write more, he said, but I'm going to send them this time. I looked around the quiet house. I'll write back, I said. The first letter arrived 10 days later, a real envelope this time, with a stamp and a return address, and my name and address in his angular, compressed handwriting. I held it in the hallway for a moment before I opened it. It was one page, the same handwriting, the same letters pushing together, trying to keep up with the thinking. Mom, I've been here 10 days. Derek is good. The dining hall has a thing I think you'd like. They make fresh bread every morning and the whole floor smells like it by 7 a.m. I thought of you immediately. I wanted to tell you something I forgot to put in the box. When I was 8, I had that week when I was really scared of, I don't even remember what, some kid at school, something. You know the week. You sat outside my door for 3 nights. I never told you this. I knew you were there every night. I could hear you breathing. I didn't open the door because if I opened the door it would mean I was actually scared, and I was trying not to be actually scared, but I knew you were there. It was enough. It was more than enough. The bread smells really good. I'll call Sunday. Love, Owen. I kept this one on the nightstand, not in the box, where I could read it whenever I needed to. He calls on Sundays. He has not missed a Sunday yet. Not every call is long. Some are 15 minutes, the quick check-in of a busy 18-year-old with things happening. But they come, consistently, every Sunday. He sends letters, most weeks. Not as long as the shoebox letters. Those had a year's worth of unsaid things in them. These are shorter, specific. The letters of someone who is learning to say the things in real time rather than saving them for a box. I write back. I am not naturally a letter writer. I communicate in the talk it through way that Owen has always found slightly overwhelming. The words in the airway that he said came out smaller than they were. But I am learning to write, the way he is learning to say. We are both learning, at 52 and 18, to communicate in the other's language. It is slow going. It is the best correspondence I have ever had. The box is on the shelf next to my father's photograph. I take the letters out sometimes, not often, not with any regularity, just occasionally when something brings me to that shelf. I hold them. I do not always read them. Sometimes I just need to know they're there. 52 letters, one a week for a year. The right size for what he needed to say. He is 400 miles away, becoming whoever he is going to be. The foundation of all of it, he said, is you. I keep that one close. Subscribe to Tender Heart Stories. Tell me in the comments, has someone in your life ever found a way to tell you something they couldn't say out loud? See you next time.